We came as Romance à l'instant dans Bang Bang pour ce spécial Hellfest Festival 2026 et on est justement avec Andy. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me. We.
So, we just want to talk about festivals. Do you remember the first festival you went?
I think the first festival I ever went to was Warped Tour.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Back in the day. I just remember walking around seeing hundreds of bands and my feet were hurting and I'd
Yeah.
bump into all my friends and my dad took me. So he was like, okay, I'm going to go get a beer. He's like, you watch some bands. I'm like, okay, cool. So, and I remember being like, this is awesome. And then, years and years later, they were like, you want to do the tour? And then I'm like, my feet still hurt. So it was good. But yeah, I love the festival season. I love all the bands, community, and family coming out to support and just doing cool shit. And it just keeps getting bigger and bigger every year. So it makes my heart happy.
So the festival time is better because you see friends, because there's more human feelings about it when you're on a festival more than a gig.
Yeah, I think each show has its own special thing. You're in a certain place or, a certain time of your life. So there'll always be little things, sometimes the smallest shows bring me the most joy. And sometimes the biggest shows, like, things fuck up and you're like, oh, I hated that show, So it's, I think it'll always depend. But I do think the older that I get, the more thankful and appreciative I am of just time and certain things. And I think the years naturally, for me anyway, soften me just to be like, oh, so excited to play with my friends again, So it's good because things like COVID or things like that for a second it can feel like it's taken away. As soon as it comes back, you're just so thankful. So it's always important to be thankful.
So you keep your young mind, your kid mind when you see maybe bands that you love over there.
Oh yeah, I think that's one of the winning things in this. In the race of music is just you always have to be learning. The minute you stop, and I think that goes for most art, craft, or anything, is you always have to learn. As soon as you stop, that's when you become stagnant and you become jaded and hard to move. And I think if you want to feel light, young, you always have to be learning and be okay with knowing that you're not doing everything right, because that's the beauty of art, and it's your fuck ups make the most success sometimes. So it's important, and I think I just get excited when I'm around good people and people that are learning and, getting in there and not knowing what they're doing, but making something really cool.
And positive things are the main, maybe, subject for We Came as Romance, to say life is beautiful.
Yeah.
Just keep it like the name of the last album, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about this, about the life, about the end of life?
Yeah, of
because
course.
it's the cycle,
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, like, we've been through a lot as a band. A lot of people know and some people don't. We lost our vocalist, Kyle Pavone, in 2018, and it was a very sad time. It was a very hard time. So we wrote a record in his honor and how we felt in our grieving process called Dark Bloom. And then after this record, it did very well, and we got to tour on it, and it was difficult, but also felt so good and freeing.
Okay.
And then you have to write another record after that, and you kind of take away the piece of the grieving and the component of this, and now you have no target of what you want to write about or who you are. So we had to sit down as a band and really get to the core of why we do this, who we are, and the identity. And it's a lot of band therapy, like we're just sitting in a room talking about experiences. And I made this rule up many years ago, but we only write songs that the entire band has been through something. So if the whole band hasn't been through that experience, then we don't write about it, because you can't get on stage and express it. Yeah, I don't want to play a song that our guitarist has written or our drummer has written. I want to or experienced, because I will not understand it. But if we all have experienced it, we all see, ooh, I've seen it this way. And so the last record, we sat down and talked about all the experiences that shaped us and that made us, and put them into words. And the all is concept is comes from the all is one concept, which is one of my favorite things. It's like everyone and everything is connected.
Yeah.
And it's the golden rule. It's do unto others, they will do unto you. But I thought all is one is too short and broad for a title. And then the Homer, who wrote the Iliad and the Odyssey, and it's in the movie Troy, where he says, let me teach you something about your temple. He's like, the gods envy us. He's like, they envy us because we're mortal. He's like, any moment could be your last. He goes, everything in life is way more beautiful because you're doomed. So it's more so as all is beautiful. Everything and everyone in life is connected in a beautiful way, whether it's positive or disaster or good or bad. It all makes up to lead you down to one road eventually, which will be your end, but it is a very beautiful journey. So it's important. Anytime something bad happens, I always think like, how is this going to eventually help me in some way? How will this help me understand something? And when you think like that, instead of like if you like something happens to you and you're like, oh no, this is so bad, and you're like, actually, this is opening something up much more beautiful that I should understand this. So it's shifting the view and the thought. So that's what the record is about.
Lessons, maybe.
Yeah, 100% lessons, always lessons. Yes,
that's a good thing. You do say that to French audience because we always like be wrong.
Yeah,
dude, French people.
You should Americans, man. Whoa, that's a whole other episode, dude. And it's a mess.
And it's a good message too. Like we are in a festival. You said at first that festival really nice thing, energy. When you got all the crowd with you.
Yeah,
you got this energy, this fuel, maybe.
100%, yeah. I mean, there's something about playing with like whether it's like other bands or just people that are excited. Some people this is their first show. Some people this is their 100th show. Some people didn't think that they'd be able to make it to the show, or some people got in last minute, or some people meet their loved one or their partner, or they make a new friend group that now they go to the show every year. I think that there's so much more to the community than the community gives itself credit for sometimes or recognizes. And when everyone's in unison, jumping or feeling or, falling in love with their song, or that song that they've played a million times in their car, they get to hear it live. It's important. So there's, I think there is a lot more that goes into it than meets the eye. And I think a lot of people are like, oh, it's like a lot of people. It's like, it's more than that. And it gets bigger every year. And I think that that's exciting because it's important. And I've met most of my friends and most of my family away from my family are the people I tour with or travel with. And so I feel like I can relate to them. I can talk to them and I can feel things. And same with fans that I've met over the years. It's important. It's community, and community lasts a long time. And I think without your community, life would be dull. Life would be lonely.
You said that a lot of your life is related to this music. How much do you think this music brought to your life? Do you think you could have a life without this music? What it be like before doing it and even just listening to it?
Yeah. So it's funny. There's this book called A New Earth, and it's by Eckhart Tolle, and it's about your ego. And so the band is something that I do. It is not who I am, which is very important. Who you are isn't, my name, Andy. That's my name. It's not what you do. Music. It's not from Detroit, Michigan, where I'm from, and it's not what I look like. I am doing an interview in France with amazing people right now. That's who I am right now in the current state. But I had this moment of thinking like, oh, if I didn't have the band, if I didn't have these things, would it still make me me? And I, was like, yes, of course. No matter what, whether you're a fan or this or that, like you will always, find something that makes you tick, whether it was music or I could have gone to school to be something else. You know what I mean? I think you always find yourself wondering and attaching yourself to that identity. But I do think that I got very lucky to be a part of this. And even if I wasn't in a band or doing this, maybe I would have been a crew, or maybe I would have been just going to concerts, or maybe just a listener and at my job, And I think that no matter what, you never should define yourself to one whole thing. But it is important to be thankful for those things. And it's important to be thankful for who you are or your strengths or your weaknesses. They do make you someone, but they don't always make you who you are. You will always and forever be changing. But it's important to know like where you came from and what helped shape you. So yeah, I've thought about that. Like, oh man, like would I be okay with being Andy that's just normal and not in a band? And hell yeah, I would be more than happy. I would still be a fan of music, I think,
Yeah.
Who knows? I'd be kind of bummed if I was in, maybe not cool music, like elevator music or something, but, I would still find a way to be happy.
Moi, j'ai une question sur l'ego. C'est pas sur l'ego, mais sur ce que la musique porte. Do you think that metal music is more special than the other ones? You know what I mean? Because we used to talk about mental health. We used to want to share good things, good feelings, do you think that our music is different than the other one?
Acceptations of bad things in
Yeah.
in a way
Well,
of catharsis. Or
I think that art is and music is like a representation of your surroundings. We actually just on the bus watched Straight Outta Compton, and it was a really great movie because they were writing about the things happening in their area. Like police brutality and different things, and the same with artists. Like people, like even our band is like people who don't feel understood. Or people that maybe feel like they don't understand them or want to write something heavy to get this anger and aggression out in a healthy way, and or positive message, positive thinking, which our band has done for many years, has been like think positively, and you don't have to be a Christian or you don't have to do this. You can just think this way. You can just be this way. So I don't know if I necessarily agree with us being better, or not necessarily better, but or having more of a impact on music than other artists. I think that we have a very different, unique impact, and it's important to have that. But I think if you're looking at music in a whole, no one is really fighting for the same space as us, you know. And I think that it's important to make sure you hold down one of the pillars, of music, which I'm very proud, and I'm sure you guys are too, to hold that down and be a heavy music listener. But I do think that in the balance of life, you need all these other components to be heavy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's good.
Eh bien, merci beaucoup. Thank you so much for everything.
Yeah.
On rappelle qu'il y a un nouvel album qui s'appelle All is Beautiful Because We Are Doomed. We Came as Romance.
I understood that part. And that part.
À voir absolument. Merci.
Awesome. Merci. Thank you so
Okay.
much.